Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to your Rangers News Bulletin on Monday, the 12th of May. I got the date right for a change. I got it wrong on Friday, so thank you to those of you that corrected me and pointed that out on Friday. But always a good start when you can get the date right. How are we all doing on this Monday afternoon anyway? Lots of Rangers news doing the rounds. Before we get stuck in, let's have a quick word for our podcast sponsors, S1 Jobs. If you're looking to hand in your transfer request, folks, head over to S1 Jobs and upload your CV today. There are thousands of jobs across Glasgow, Edinburgh, and the surrounding areas. You'll find the one at S1 Jobs. Right after Sunday's demolition job of Aberdeen, all 4 goals coming in the second half at Ibrox. Barry Ferguson spoke to the press afterwards, as well as Leon Balogun. Now, the Balogun press conference was embargoed. It was released to everyone at 12 noon today, and he said some interesting things of note with regards to his contract situation and Nico Raskin. We'll start with his contract issue. Of course, out of contract in the summer, and about the possibility of remaining in Glasgow. He says, I think I have no choice on that. And he continued that I'm very blessed that my father from a young age taught me the value of patience. So I'm just going to have patience as always, as I've had all my life with many things. And then I just have to see what's happening. It's hard to say because it's not in my control. I don't know what stage the whole thing is. I mean, they're on the search for a manager. I don't really know, so it's not my business really until it becomes mine. Hopefully, I don't know if there are any deadlines. I can't say. I would tell you, but I can't. On the prospect of Dundee United on Wednesday being the last time he'll turn out at Ibrox as a Rangers player, he said, I try not to think about it too much, but I'm quite relaxed, to be honest, but maybe that's just who I am. I can be very, very emotional, but I will keep that for the moment where I have certainty, which I don't have at the moment. My future, he was alluding to, is written in the stars. So I trust the big man upstairs and some people up here in the club. So we'll see. On the issue that many people may have with the fact that he's 37 years of age, Leon Balogun said this.
Arrogant, but age is nothing but a number. I've looked after myself throughout my whole career pretty well, I would like to think, which is the reason why I can still perform at this level. If I would feel that I start to really struggle, I would admit it, but I absolutely do not feel that way. Felt even at times this season and even last season, I trained more than ever, because I remember when I was around 22, 23, and I played with some senior players. There was only one, I think, Michael Tarnat, you might remember him. I think he was 37 at the time. That was my first year as a pro. He was managed here and there, and all the other ones around 29, 30, 31, 30, they were all managed. And I was always saying to my best friend back then, I can't wait for them days, when you don't have to do the full training week, but not for me, apparently. Times have changed, but I've adapted. And long may it continue. And just have to do what I can on the pitch and off the pitch to keep my fitness. And I think I've found my recipe to do that.
Michael Tarnat, there's a name from yesteryear, still sends shivers down my spine. That was, remember, he was part of the Bayern Munich side that came to Ibrox in that Champions League game. Jordi Albert scored a belter. It looked like Rangers were hanging on to a 1-0 win, which would have been huge back then, only for Tarnat's deflected free kick in the dying embers to salvage a point for Bayern. Interesting stuff from Big Leon there. And he also spoke about Nico Raskin. Nico was in fantastic form yesterday, man of the match for many after setting up 2 goals for Václav Černý and Cyril Dessers. And Leon Balogun was full of praise of the Belgian and says he sees himself as a Rangers captain in the future. About the prospect of Nico with the armband, he says, yes, I'm not trying to bash him here, but I think he's still young. There are still a few things he has to learn, which is only normal. I can look into his mind. I can't look into his mind, he said, but I think that as much as is enjoyable, it's quite a lot of him to process as well. I mean, if you get man of the match pretty much every week, the whole stadium sings your songs. It does get you excited sometimes, and maybe you lose track a little bit of things going on around you. But again, it's a process, and that's normal. I think a lot of good players have been through that, but he definitely has a lot of qualities. If you just see his energy on the pitch, the way he's trying to demand of players around him, definitely. He's grown a lot this season because I remember around this time last season, maybe a bit earlier, he'd come off the back of an injury and he struggled to find his rhythm and to get minutes. And then if you see the player that he has grown into this season, fair play to him. He continued. It's not easy, especially if we are on such a rocky ride that we've been on this season, but I think he's grown a lot and it's impressive, really. It's just important, I think, to keep the bigger picture in mind because he's still young. I think if he carries on like that, there's a real player in him. There's loads for him to look forward to. He's been a joy for many people this season, especially towards the end of the season. He's carried a few niggles here and there, went through it. So yes, I'm delighted for him. So some nice words from Leon on Nico Raskin. We touched on Nico on the show this morning. And we've discussed him at length on various shows, of course. He's got a big summer ahead, Nico Raskin. I would love him to be a Rangers player next season, and I would hope that the club thrash out a deal for him to stay. Should he get the armband as well next season? He's been certainly a standout performer for Rangers this season. Now, moving on to other news, one player who is not a Rangers player and an ex-player of last season, and is someone that many supporters would love to see back, and that is Abdallah Sima. Now, according to reports in Greece, Brighton are reportedly keen to sell the Senegalese player. He's 23 years of age, still got a year left on his contract with the Seagulls. He's been on loan at Brest in France this season, where he scored 12 goals and has got 2 assists in 38 matches for the club. It's claimed that the Premier League side want to find a team to sell Sima to when he returns from his loan spell. Now, the publication in Greece, Sports DNA, claim that Olympiacos are among the interested suitors for Sima in the summer window. So it looks like Brighton are keen to offload Abdallah. Certainly just struggled there, never really given a chance at Brighton. Was sent out on loan almost immediately, went to Stoke, never happened for him, went to Angers in France, it never quite materialised for him. Did okay, I think, in Angers. At Rangers, of course, had some injury issues, but contributed a lot last season. Very unfortunate not to score the opening goal in that Scottish Cup final. I still, for the life of me, wouldn't have ruled that out. I think he was very harshly done by. But Abdallah Sima, would you like to see him back at Ibrox? I wouldn't be opposed to that, I've got to say. I'm a big fan of Abdallah, and if a deal could be reached, then yeah, I'd be all for that. But let us know in the comments, folks. Would you like to see him return? He certainly looks like he's going to be on the move this summer. Moving on, big news over the weekend with regards to the managerial search, and one name came from out of nowhere, it's fair to say, and that is Carlo's son, David Ancelotti. According to some journalists in Italy, quite well known as well, the transfer gurus, Gianluca Di Marzio and Nicolo Schiro, claim that a number of clubs are interested in David Ancelotti, including Rangers. It's thought that 2 Spanish clubs are keen on him, as well as Como in Italy, if Cesc Fabregas moves on there. Now, he's been a sort of father and son combination for a number of years now, working under his famous father, but by all accounts wants to go and become the main man somewhere. So, yeah, Carlo looks like he could be moving to Brazil, by all accounts, to become their manager. Looks like Xabi Alonso heading back to his former club, Real, to take over. And would you be opposed to David Ancelotti taking the reins at Ibrox? Certainly doesn't have any managerial experience as the main man, but I touched on this on the Q&A show on our Extra channel on YouTube, that Rangers have some of their most successful managers of all time haven't had any managerial experience before they have been appointed as Rangers manager. I mean, the most recent one, Steven Gerrard, won the title. That aside, you go back, Walter Smith wasn't the main man anywhere before he got given the reins. Graham Souness came in as a novice in the managerial game. And you even go way back, I think, Bill Struff wasn't a manager, was he? He was an assistant before being promoted as the main man way back in the day, and he's generally considered the greatest Rangers manager of all time. So the experience argument, when you look back on it, you could level that at him. He hasn't has experience on the touchline as a manager. Does that count against him? Who knows? But he certainly has his father to call upon if he needs to. And yeah, certainly a name that came out of nowhere over the weekend, but from reliable sources there in Italy. So certainly one to keep an eye on. And we'll wrap up with this. This has been doing the rounds on social media. The apparent leaked new Rangers home jersey for next season. What do we make of it, folks? Of course, Umbro will be on the jersey. I've got to say, I quite like the look of that. Pretty plain, simple, no nonsense. I like the collar. Big fan of a collar on a Rangers jersey. With the red trimming, that white and red trimming on the sleeve as well. And yeah, no real complaints about that, to be honest. Let us know in the comments, though, folks. Are you a fan of it, or do you not like it? So yeah, it is allegedly, of course, it is doing the rounds on social media, but that looks like it could well be the new Rangers shirt for the new season. Right, we'll wrap up there. Thank you, as ever, for tuning into the show. I will be back on tomorrow morning with Joshua, 9:30 as ever, and we'll speak to you then. Until then, enjoy the rest of your Monday. Bye for now.